A bunch of
How's it
people.
going, brother? Oh, no video.
You did.
I'm excited. So, everybody, I think that the
Morning.
most beautiful thing that we can start with is just like going around sharing a little bit about the importance of where everybody is at, why we're doing this, why are you here for at the Lighthouse? Why you're doing this morning, why this is important for you, and what you love. I think that we can start with that. I think like something that you really love, like what you love to do. So with that, I think whoever feels the calling to start, please feel free.
Yeah, I'll start. So my
Okay.
name's Sean Mino. Yeah. Yeah,
Yay!
man. I I'm here because, well, Mijing and I really want to gather and share that vision with you, Eric, of gathering young people and really starting to help young people come into their own as leaders. So I just felt like these meetups would be a super huge like step into creating these young leaders and yeah, just having people come together more. Something that I love, I would say, is just working towards the vision of like what Mijing and I are working towards. We're having the youth leadership festival, and I would say that that vision of just working towards creating as many more like young leaders that are developing an inner sense of why they're doing things uh, really feeds me every single day. So that's that's a bit of me.
Beautiful man, brother.
Thank you.
Who do you want to pick next?
Of course, Beijing.
Of course. Well, I think for me the most enriching thing or part about these meetups that we're gonna start doing is us sharing our perspective as a circle of youth that are all in the same journey of growing and wanting to become better. Our different perspectives of how we see different aspects of life. So this is why we have picked different topics and like that we can pick at each other's brain with social media, entrepreneurship, leadership, mental strength, meditation. So we can all pick on each other's brains because we all have different perspectives and we can all learn from each other in so many different beautiful ways. We have different experiences. So I think that's the most important for me, like that I find the most value being able to bring all these beautiful, strong minds together and share with other youth that are watching and see, oh, I'm not alone. I also think like that. And sooner or later, they start joining the cause as well and start sharing their perspectives, and we grow together beautifully. Just a little small seed that we're planting here. So very excited about it. And thank you, Eric, for hosting us. This is wonderful.
Thank
Big seed. Big seed. I just want to ask, Shah, Meijing, do you guys want to share just so it's kind of everybody knows on record or anybody that's watching where you guys are located right now as well?
Absolutely. I'm in San Antonio in Texas. And Shaw,
and I'm in Santa Barbara, California.
Sweet. Cool.
yes.
Amazing. Who wants to go next?
I guess I'll pick Maddie. We'll go with girl power.
Woo! I was ready. Hi, everyone. I am Madison or Maddie. I do not care which one you use. I'm also kind of close to Shaw. I'm in Southern California. Um, and I've been out here for a while, but part of my reason for joining this group and all of that, I've always been kind of like a self-improvement person. I want to make life not easier, but I was told, I don't know about you guys, my whole life that life is hard. And I don't think it has to be as hard as everyone says. Yes, it's difficult, but I have learned the last few years through cultivating awareness and understanding myself better that maybe the emotional ups and downs aren't, they don't have to be as horrible as everyone tells you. But I felt really lonely in that um, search for a really long time, especially as young people. I don't think that's what we're taught to be concerned about. And we're kind of taught to be just concerned about with achievement and how is our social circle doing. I felt like it was very surface. So finding people like Shaw and Mei Jing with this beautiful vision has been really awesome for me, because it does make me feel like even more encouraged to do what I want to do. And I realize the power of having a group setting and being with other like-minded people, which really is what motivates me. And things I love to do besides this type of stuff is I like to hike with my dog. That really is what encompasses a lot of my free time. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
You
So
wanna
who do
pick
you?
next, Maddie?
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, Emerson, you know I'm coming for you.
Thank you, Maddie. Nice to meet you all. So Diana has joined also. Hello, Diana. Well, very nice to be here with you. My name is Emerson. I'm now located at Lagoa do Dionísio, that is on the countryside of the state of Bahia in Brazil. I met Shaw and May at Ekam in India last year at the youth festival, and I just fell in love for them because I saw like someone that we could become, like young people free of our suffering. I saw them and I saw that it was possible. So we've been doing some talks and projects together. And I really love, I come from the fields of communication and philosophy. So now I'm very interested in researching about social medias and how those networks is affecting our brains, our societies, our democracy, and all those things. I'm actually now applying for a master's into this team. So I love this team. I think that it's one of the most needed themes that we have right now in the world, because we have like these international conflicts and so on. But from now on, all the conflicts that we are having, that will pass through social media and networks and our minds. And so I think that cultivating awareness is the greatest weapon we have to fight this war, because the next war will be an inner war, I guess. And this is why we are all preparing ourselves inside, because this is where it really matters. I love philosopher from India that is called Vandana Shiva, and she talks about this topic that she calls colonization of minds. And I guess that is where we really need to work with ourselves and cultivating awareness. So I'm very passionate about great changes, improving things, and involving with youth. I think that our generation needs some movement like that. And I'm very glad to be an enthusiast of it and be here with you. Thanks for the invitation, Eric.
Mm.
Well, now let me pick Diana.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Amazing.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi. So my name is Diana, like you guys know, and my cousin Mayin is the one that invited me to this beautiful meeting, and I'm very thankful. My accounts on Instagram is Miracles Are Made, and I focus on mental health for little kids and helping parents with the mental health and giving them tips and tricks and all of that. And I've been doing this for a long time myself. And probably 2 years ago, I started with the account Miracles Are Made. And I see the importance on all of this and creating the awareness on social media and in little kids, especially in America, which I feel like in Mexico, it's everywhere. Like in schools, they're already doing mental health for little kids and all of this. And in America, I don't see it. And I don't know why. And so it's very important for me to reach that, that people that that segment of people here. And right now I'm actually in Mexico, which is crazy, but yeah, so that's what I do. So
Beautiful.
thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
You pick somebody now, Diana.
I pick somebody. Okay. Show Moreno.
Oh, Shah just went.
Already
Luca,
went.
Then Madison.
oh, Madison went too.
Then you. You do
She
it.
went too.
Mayin too?
I went.
Yeah.
That was the second.
Aw. Then who else? Let me see.
Luca and Anders have it.
Okay, so Luca.
Okay.
I hear you, brother.
Oh, we can't hear you, Luca.
Can't hear you, Luca. There we
Sorry.
go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So hi everyone. I'm Luca. I'm Shaw's roommate, and the reason I joined or decided to join this was because I've been always have I've been always in, have sorry I've always been interested in having these deep conversations about kind of the world we live in and the issues we kind of face every day without really kind of we kind of brush to one side. Um, so I feel like things like such like social media and just the conflicts that it creates deep inside ourselves is something that we need to be more aware of, and we actually need to kind of act on it. I feel like that a lot of the time we kind of know that there's an issue with social media and how kind of it changes our perspective on the world and it molds our reality, but we don't really do anything to really combat the negative effects on it of it. But yeah, so I'm really interested in seeing what this has to offer. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Beautiful words.
Um,
That
so
leaves me.
I'll choose Anderson. Andrew.
Hi, my name is Anders. I am here through the invite of Shaw, and I had a chance to meet Mei Jing out here in Colorado, which is where I currently am, through my friend Tara, who has been a longtime student of the teachers Sri Pritaji and Sri Krishnaji from India, which is how we all know each other. I just got back from a 4-day retreat in Florida with those teachers called the Field of Awakening. And so I'm in this total sort of landing and sort of integrating with this sort of new energy of presence and awareness. And that was sort of the main takeaway from the event of many for me, was that awareness is the antidote to suffering. And I think that right there is the paradox with social media. Social media has been designed to hack our attention, to take it and to hold us as long as possible for whatever motives that the platform has, which tends to be profiting upon our attention and our energy. So I myself find myself in an interesting position because I'm a filmmaker, I'm a media producer, and I want to use my gifts to put out positive messages and vibes and inspire youth. And so I'm usually focused on humanitarian, environmental projects. And I think that media has the biggest impact, right? With our connectivity, we have a huge opportunity to reach out and inspire and uplift. And there's two sides to that coin, right? There's with great power comes great responsibility. I feel like is the catchphrase, and I don't think we've sort of managed that that balance yet. Like our technology is developing faster than maybe our emotional capabilities and bandwidth, our emotional intelligence, and our ability with our young developing brains to sort of work with this in the right way. So I think that's sort of why I'm here, is to collaborate and connect and learn with like-minded youth who want to develop this this technological age into the age of the Age of Enlightenment. And what does that look like to move the message and the vibrations through this technology in ways that can then bring us together? And so I find myself in my personal life working with this a lot. Like, how can I connect with the right messages and people? Like, there's certain individuals that I just love what they're sharing. And I'm like, I want that. I want that. And then there's all this other crap that's mixed in there, advertisements and, you know, videos about the most expensive yachts in the world and, you know, expensive cars and all these things that social media thinks that I would like. And, you know, indeed, it does catch my attention. So I'm here to hopefully, you know, develop that conversation with y'all on how do we, you know, curate and shape what we're taking in and what we're putting out. So thank you. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, Eric. Looking forward to getting to know you all.
Thank you, man.
Ethan, you wanna top it off?
Yeah, surely top it off. That's a tough one. Wow, what a crowd. Thank you for everyone for being here. What an honor to be a part of this beautiful space in Lighthouse where we just pretty much off not knowing what to do with the energy we were charged in Atlantis with. Me and Eric started creating these morning rituals where we meet and chat, and now it becomes 8 people sitting here, and the visionaries of youth gathering in the lighthouse, kind of seems like. So very pleased to be here in the first place. And what I do, I'm living at the moment in the mountains in Portugal, in the middle of nowhere, tranquilo nature, in my future rocket, which is the name of my van is a future, and it's a rocket as well. So I'm building here, living here, and soon on the top of the hill, we're gonna have right there somewhere on the top, we're gonna have a pink rocket coming up. We're gonna build this art installation with the DJs, and there is a lot of stories around it. So, but I don't want to go into deep. But it's like playing live, enjoying life, creating, supporting a lot of cool projects around the world, working from here, working for value principle, which is I give my all and then the universe will take care of the rest, kind of situation. I see myself as a visionary counselor for Bitcoin, since I studied Bitcoin for approximately 3 years, and I did it full time, meaning with over hours as well. I watched thousands and thousands of hours of podcasts. I read books, met people, now traveled with Eric to meet tribe, tested the thing in and out on with all my skepticism possible to see if it really sounds so good as it sounds, you know, can it be true? So yeah, and that inspires me a lot, not to think anymore about myself, but rather about collective. Let's go together. There is no me anymore. At the same time, my wisdom and all my knowledge is here. Use it, play with it, do whatever you want. You know, like let's do it together. Yeah, that's where I am, playing with life, enjoying myself, nature, and some people here. Yeah, cooking daily, drinking water from the spring. Yeah, just cool. Living it. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing, brother. It's so nice to have you here. So I would love to just first of all thank you all for being here. I think the most important time that we have is our presence. And I was sharing the other week with Mei Jing and Shaw about, you know, how do we continue to cultivate awareness? How do we set our intentions, and how do we focus our attention? And you know, I think that the biggest thing, Luca, you talked about was like our attention, how it's consistently being taken away by social media, and we get to create a reality. And so for the past 7 years, I used social media as a forum to really integrate my journey around the planet, like really refining my internal self. And it was something that allowed me to illuminate a pathway uh, of uncertainty that, you know, has been told because society had continued to dictate terms upon me. And I chose to say, fuck that. I'm going to create my own terms. And so I believe that all of us get to decide this, and we get to create this, and we get to step into this level of sovereignty. And I think that as a responsible role models, we are elected by our great teacher, creator, God, source, whatever you want to call, to continue to move forward with absolute grace and certainty because we stand for something greater than ourselves. It's not about any of us, it's about the collective. It's about setting an intention so we focus our energy into a driven manner and a driven capacity to cultivate something that our future generations are going to look back at us and say, fuck, man, like they did that. Wow, thank you. We get to live our dream. You know, none of this bullshit where we look back at history and say, what the fuck were they thinking? You know, like you start to see these patterns start to duplicate, and it's like, wake up. Like, who's willing to take responsibility? If not now, when? If not us, then who? Like, let's fucking do this. So I'm really excited to bring this together to, you know, really set off on a journey as we get to create it. Like, this is the fun part. Buckminster Fuller said it's not about breaking down the old, it's about creating the new. So, you know, this is the fun part. This is like, you know, when we were kids, we would go to the park and we'd play in the park and we'd say, hey, oh my God, this is so much fun. Let's play. Right? Now the park just got really fucking big. Let's do it. Right? Like, so this is the most exciting experience. And so I would love to hear from that perspective, you know, seeing the solutions, seeing the opportunities, seeing the grace that's coming through all of us in different ways. What do you, each of you, you know, and we'll go through, you know, how you ever guys want to feel, or whoever just chime up, but really focusing on how can we start to help more people see the beauty of life, the playfulness of life, the innocence of life, the sovereignty of life, and express from that place where people aren't being shunned by being seen, heard, or understood. And in fact, being encouraged to shine, encouraged to be seen, encouraged to be heard. That is, I think, what has been missing for such a long period of time. So I'd love to start us off with that. And whoever feels like chiming in, please, like, let's flow. This is a flow conversation.
Well, I'm happy to start if anyone. So I feel like I had a lot of thoughts as you were speaking. So I'll do my best to stay on some sort of track. But in regards to your last question, I think the place that we start, at least for me, in helping people recognize that we're in a big game, you know, even with all the difficulties that is around us, like we are in a big playground. And I think the way that we help people recognize that is encouraging getting to know yourself. I think a big issue we have today is we are taught to be something else, whether it's by society, by our parents. We are given these notions of who we should be, or we create the notions ourselves because we decide, like, if I become this smart, successful person, I'm going to be safe. And we forget that true safety comes in being ourselves, I think, and being comfortable with who we are, but we haven't really been taught to do that. And I think that's the first place we start, because the second we start to actually get to know ourselves and become comfortable with who we are, then we feel more comfortable with expressing ourselves, I think, in group settings, in public, or if we can encourage our friends to be comfortable with who they are, that's when playfulness starts to come out. Because when we're kids, when we want to go play, we don't have all the judgments yet from everyone else. We start to pick them up. I know I was a sensitive kid and I was picking stuff up way too early, but I still had a great time because I wasn't so self-conscious. So I think that's where we start. It's getting to know ourselves, being comfortable with ourselves, and helping other people also be comfortable with who they are, and being there with them and seeing them and saying, hey, I like this human I'm seeing come out, even if you're not comfortable with them yet.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and I think a great way to do that, going back to the whole social media way deal, is like encouraging people to be themselves within social media. One of the biggest things that I struggled with social media, and I had to just like, I said, no more, this is too much, was the posting was coming from this like ego or like me putting an identity or a self that wasn't me. It was just me trying to satisfy society and the role that I was wanting to play. And it's something that a lot of people struggle with because of social media, because of this online space that's being opened all over the place, and what they see and what they're inputting into their brains. So yeah, I agree with Maddie 100,000%. Coming in from the inside, the human being first, understanding, reflecting, where are we coming from? Who are we? Who are we truly? Not what picture am I putting on social media so people can see it and think that I this and this and that. Who am I truly? And from there, you're gonna start, your social media platforms are gonna start being more authentic, and through that authenticity, people are gonna attract to it, and they're gonna feel that authenticity. And Sean and I were talking about how, like, how do we shift the old social media way to the new? And I think one of the biggest conclusions that we came to is, instead of posting for how it makes us feel, we're going to post in how it makes others feel. How is it going to make others feel rather than myself? And when you are like more selfless, it starts reflecting around the world. And if we start changing it within ourselves, little by little, everything starts changing around us. So I think that's super, super important. Just wanted to add that from what Maddie said.
I love that.
Yeah, and I would also say it has to do like also with the posting, like you said, with the comfortability in yourself. I think it also has to do with the scrolling aspect about the being uncomfortable in yourself, because from my experience, a lot of the times that I've like hopped on social media and just started scrolling or getting lost is like I wasn't aware that I wasn't in a good place, and I wasn't like, you know what I mean? It's just like an automatic craving. You just want to hit and you just start scrolling, you're going, and then you get out of it and you're like, holy shit, like half an hour just went by. You know what I mean? And you probably don't. I mean, from my experience, I never felt better when I've gotten off of it than when I started. So it's kind of like it's again tying into that feeling uncomfortable.
It's a drug that nobody's talking about. It's like an addiction. You get out of it like you just got drunk. You're like, oh, I feel like shit. I don't know what just happened. My brain, my mind, my soul. But then you go for more. It's crazy. So
Yeah.
It is an addiction.
How can you use
nobody
it as a
says
tool?
there's like alcohol AAA meetings. There's like all these retreat centers to get people out of drugs, but no, there's nothing about social media. It's just encouraged to keep doing it, and given to kids at 3 years old. It's crazy.
That brings us into the whole you're getting monetized for who you are. And I think that's a whole separate conversation personally that we could go into. But if we're just talking about social media in and of itself right now, one of the things, just going off of what you both just said, Meijing and Shaw, is when we get caught in the doom scroll or whatever it is, one of the important parts of utilizing social media, and I think the things we should be talking about in teaching kids, we teach ourselves, personal hygiene. Why aren't we teaching ourselves social media hygiene or internet hygiene, whatever it is? Because that is very much applicable hygiene is applicable to every part of your life, but with social media, it's learning awareness. How am I, like, checking in before you go on a nice scroll? How am I feeling? What am I trying to fix right now? Like when I'm working with clients in my day-to-day work and stuff like that, if say with food, because I'm a health coach part-time, if someone's going to get a cookie, one of the things we typically, like from the cabinet, we ask them to do, it's not to stop going to grab the cookie, but ask yourself why you're doing it. Am I actually hungry right now, or am I stressed? And it's not to make you change your behavior right away, but it's just to bring awareness to it. And I think that's what we need to do with social media too, because then we start to look. Like I now see when I'm in certain moods, I crave certain content. on social media, and I have a very weird range of things, and I'll even talk to my partner about it. He's like, I think you're kind of in a bad headspace. Maybe you shouldn't be jumping on and like looking up all your murder, horror, mystery things, because that's like not gonna put you in a good headspace. And so again, bringing awareness to why we're doing what we do, I've seen it allow me to slowly kind of shift away from things versus trying to change it all at once, if that makes sense. But I kind of went off on
Great,
that
that's a
one.
great point. Mm.
Oh, I totally agree with all of you. And for newcomers and new listeners, some words that we talk about may seem like new age slogans like awareness, freedom, and all those things, but I don't think that there is no other way. And I think that the answer about your question is awareness takes to freedom. And this is the most valuable thing that we can teach to people, to see that nowadays we're not free because we're not choosing what we want, what we really want. Because first, we don't know ourselves. Second, uh, other external factors influence in our decisions. So how can I say that I'm free and take a decision to click on an app or download some video or listen to some music if there are many external factors that leads me to take that decision? So as Mary said, I think that creating this habit of asking, why am I going into Instagram? Why am I posting that? I'm posting that just because I'm excited. And what is the meaning of that? This is a habit, because two things about social network that we must remember is that first, we're talking about a market. We are talking about companies that look for profits, and this is the mindset we'll talk later. And second, is that social media created a habit, a new habit in billions of people. 10 years ago, we didn't have, can you imagine that humanity didn't have the habit to have a cell phone, to check out the cell phone from minute to minute. And from 5 to 10 years, we have a new habit. Our whole race has a new habit to check out the phones, to communicate, to get satisfactions, and have its brains changed by that. So it's something very new that if we don't have enough awareness, cultivate the awareness to stop and say, why am I doing that? Why am I sharing this? Why am I seeing that? Why am I spending the time here? And we will only know the why if we turn inside and ask ourselves. And we only will do this if we cultivate awareness. I guess that awareness is the answer for all the crises that we are having now and will have in the future, because awareness will take to decisions, to good or bad decisions. And having this awareness will have the possibility to gather with people like us, to take the decision to be with people that I like or to be with the people that I don't like, and to engage myself in some calls or to lay myself in the bed. But just the awareness of that will bring some change. I guess it's some insights I had listening to you.
Yeah, I actually totally agree with you too with the awareness. And me focusing on little kids and then parents and all of this, and social media has really impacted teenagers, and how important it is for them to know the difference of what is good for me to watch, what is not good for me to watch. And there's little kids 7 years old that already have a phone, and they're walking around with a phone and they're on YouTube and things like that, and how that really impacts them. Many parents don't even know how that it's really strong for them, because they can just keep on scrolling on the shorts on YouTube, or they can go there and whatever. And it's a dangerous area for them. But I think it's all based on what you guys are saying, like, what do I know who I am, and little kids know that, like, we're born like that. It's nature, it's human nature, but it's taken away from us, from the judgments, like Maddie was saying. There's judgment from our parents, there's judgment from school, there's judgment from friends, and then we don't know who we are. Then I'm confused. And what am I watching? I don't know what this is, but I'm just watching it because everybody's watching it. And it just keeps on going. And that's so important for little kids. I feel like little kids, they need to understand that, need to understand who they are since they're little, without taking it away from them, and just welcome them as who they are. And many parents do it unconsciously. Honestly, they're not trying to hurt their children. It's just unconscious. But it's just putting a little awareness on parents and be like, hey, notice what you just did, and notice what your child just did with that reaction. And now it's changing, and now it's feeling self-conscious, and then you're saying, why is my children, feeling like that, or insecure, or whatever? And it all comes also from social media, from all these scrolling and all of that. And so it's so important, the awareness, like you were saying, and it's such an important subject for teenagers. It's a huge thing.
Beautiful.
I think we need to bring awareness to the way social media is built. So social media is kind of built around trying to keep your attention, and that way to monetize it, right? And by the best way to grab your attention is usually by feeding you negative content. The negative content that that people are fed are usually the one that get the most reaction and that get the most retention out of its viewers. So I think that to be able to kind of fix this issue that we have with social media, we need to kind of fix the algorithm and the way social media works, because we could kind of make people more aware about the the dangers and kind of the problems that social media has. But if social media is built with the intention of it being addictive, and for people to not be able to, it's the way I see it is like if you give someone a drug that's really, really addictive, there's a chance that they'd be able to control themselves, but it's just increasingly more difficult. So I feel like we need to kind of change the way it all works, and just make social media a space that's centered around creating valuable content and communication, not some form of just trying to. It's all about monetization, like you guys previously said.
Well, I think that's the difficult part, because Luca, while I agree with everything you say, there's that part of me that's very, maybe it's cynical or whatever it is, and I'm like, it's already a giant profit turning machine. There's no way we're getting any of these big companies to actually change the addictive nature of their platform. But the best thing that we can do is allow people to be aware of the fact that we almost turn into a commodity when we're using social media. So how do we combat that to the best way possible? Even with the example of a drug, I agree. It's like we're all being handed this crazy addictive drug, and they're like, be healthy. It's on you. Take your personal responsibility. And it's almost like you didn't even let the pharmacist give me a review of what the side effects of this drug are. But with any certain drugs, I mean, the ones that are very, very addictive, the one off the top of my head, and the family of amphetamines, we know that it can be really horrible, right? People get addicted to these things and it ruins their lives. But there's a class of amphetamines that's used for people with ADHD, in a small dose, and it works well to help them. So how do we find that? And it depends on how you feel about medication. I'm not going to make a statement with that, but the point with social media, I'd say, with that and it being addictive, is how do we help people learn to utilize it in a healthy manner? Because I personally don't see the companies making any big changes and taking away the addictive factor of it. Do I hope that could happen? 100%. Would I be for it? Yes. Do I believe it will happen? Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm wondering if sort of when we're speaking about addictive substances and drugs, like I'm almost wondering if, like with tobacco and alcohol, if there should be a label on social media apps that say, "Warning, this is addictive. This is going to hack your attention and change your brain chemistry." And if we could put that out there as a people saying, "This is what we know now, the effects on the brain. This is scientifically proven. This is in documentaries." Many people just aren't aware of it, but I wonder if we could sort of like proliferate that understanding and maybe take action through legal means. Just a thought.
I want to jump in on this particular, because like the putting those labels on a smoking or an alcohol, it didn't make any big change. What it did, actually, it's counterintuitive. I think it brought awareness. That's we talking. It brought awareness to the people that didn't know that the smoking or alcohol impacts them. And with that awareness that this is addictive, this is a poison for you, it starts everything in the mind. And if we start to believe that this is addictive, this is unhealthy for me, then it becomes 10 times more. We are placebo beings. So I would be careful about like doing that on social media, is just like as a solution.
I never thought on that, but I think would be, in my opinion, would be an amazing opportunity to bring this awareness. I also believe in this effect that we have on the mind, but with or awareness or without the awareness, it happens, And I never thought on that. Would be amazing, but this would be a huge movement on the worldwide into these companies.
But how about, sorry, brother, how about bringing a solution rather than focusing on to fix the broken tool? Social media is the broken tool, so we talking about a lot of energy about how they can fix that tool that is, we literally have no power over.
Emerson has a good,
like, how about, I don't know if you, because why I'm sharing this, because while I hear you, I hear the solution as well, which is another decentralized, and I wouldn't call it social platform, because that's a centralized social media platforms. There is a reason why it's called like that. And there is thing has been called Noster, notes and other stuff transmitted by relays. What that means, it's a kind of social media, but I would say it's more like a social network, where it works on a similar principles as any other social media. We share whatever we want to share, and people share whatever they want to share. The difference between decentralized and centralized social media is that in decentralized social network, where I only exist, mainly, I would say, like, I don't put my thoughts anywhere else except in Noster. And I think Luca was talking about algorithms. What's the big difference in this? There is no algorithm that manipulates human mind, so that it's not owned by anyone. At the same time, it's owned by all of us. It's a protocol that it keeps on running, and we can freely choose it. And there is no other advertisement, for example, as another social. There is no incentive behind that protocol to manipulate people. Stay on the social media. Anders, you were talking. I think you could recognize, if I would say, what's the difference between this centralized and decentralized social media, is the centralized social media run by organizations and controlled by countries is completely full of noise. And if you come to the Noster platform protocol, it's pure sound, people sharing love, people humble, people. It's beautiful to see how the behavior has changed in a digital social environment with Noster.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to.
Totally agree.
yeah. I want to add like that social media also is, you know, controlled by these corporations, and on top of that, controlled depending on where they are, controlled by certain governments, right? So there's a lot of censorship and misinformation because there's different interests from different from different governments. So like during the pandemic especially, there was an insane amount of misinformation on social media, and you know, people especially during like times of crisis, people are just kind of willing to take information to kind of get a grasp on what is going on in the world. Um, so yeah, like if you're fed all this misinformation because of this government that's kind of deciding, you know, a lot of times it is true, but a lot of other times it's not. It's kind of it's kind of hard to live like a true life, a true kind of yeah.
I
kind
really
of
like
lost
what
it,
you're
but
saying. So I just want to jump in here because I think what you're bringing is very valuable and important. There is no difference between our historic mediums and propaganda ever since the Weimar Republic and what happened after World War One and the manipulation that has been happening on an economic disparity of creating unawareness, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in societal construct. So this been creating society expectations. In fact, a lot of that has actually been created since the writings of what they call the Gospels, right? The good news. A lot of these writings have been created in the place of helping stories be told based off of people's perceptions, experiences of life, how they wanted people to behave, and you know, populism, which is what was dubbed the creation and evolution of Hitler. He played to the minds um, of the child, of the adult child of a lot of people that promising things that were just simply untrue, as history has dictated to us. So these importance of what you guys bring to the table and saying, you know, be thyself, know thyself, really recognizing the fundamental understanding here is that there's always going to be things outside of us, always going to be things outside of us that are trying to manipulate our circumstances. But it's not in those circumstances that change the behavior. It's in our own nature within ourselves that allow us to create that state of ethos, that state of understanding. So it's not about, you know, when I was a kid, I got addicted to crack cocaine and I became a crack addict from the age of 16 to 19. So I understand this feeling of escapism, of needing to escape the reality because of the pain and bullshit that the world tried to manipulate onto me. Now, as a result of that, it made me who the fuck, like I'm a strong motherfucker because of it, because I'm so connected to my darkness that, you know, nobody can challenge, you know, my light now. I mean, I'm always challenged, but I walk through it, right? So the point is that the experience of our life really allows us to trump a belief within any ways. So what it gives us is actually understanding that these warnings that may be showing up in our external reality is about, okay, what am I trying to learn and how can I take responsibility of it? How is this becoming the mirror of my life? Because if we really believe in the true essence of oneness of creation, it actually is the mirror. Everything is reflecting back to you your own misunderstandings. And if we take responsibility of the situation, what can we do to find a solution? And it might be difficult. It might mean a place of compassion. And so my question to you all is, how can we take compassionate action in each of these situations? Because that's what's going to change the leadership. It's not just about talking about the problems, right? Like It is about being aware of them, but then taking that compassionate action to find and create a solution. That is what I find is the most empowering for any environment you walk into, because from that place, you're coming from just a genuine place of grace and service. And I'll leave it over to you all to share.
Well, it's amazing to remind that to act from compassion. And I like what Wendy said, because when Wendy spoke about, he brought a solution that there would be no need for fight. When he said we don't need to fight for something that we know that it's already broke. So straight to the point, I think that we can, it's possible. We have these tools to create another healthy social network. This is totally possible. But things that we must be aware of is, I guess, the two things. First, it is the mindset, the ruling mindset of our actual economic system that is based on competition, profit over human beings, and not human beings first. So this is the first mindset to act on. And second, the mindset of the ruling mindset over the tech companies, that they take this mindset of our economical systems, put into this game of power and act throughout them, throughout the algorithms. So the algorithms, they represent this mindset of our actual economical and our economical system. And we're talking about something very big when you talk about mindset, when you talk about awareness, when you talk about state, when you talk about human being first. Because if someone in 2010 had thought human being first, he wouldn't let a platform addict billions of people. It wouldn't. It wouldn't. This happened because it was profit first. And I think the first thing is to understand and be aware of these two mindsets, and then made the technical changes throughout this changing of mindset. This is why we all start about talking about awareness. So we want healthy, we want fair, and all those things. And maybe a third thing we must be aware of, and that is social networks. They are nowadays being used, as Eric told, as an weapon from the whole humanity, like a weapon of domination over groups to another group, from countries to another country. I invite you all to search about a new term that is called techno-colonialism or data colonialism. What is this theory? It's the theory that throughout data, throughout technology, the colonial mindset is being spread out to dominate, literally dominate lives and minds of people. And it's the same mindset of fight that is ruling throughout humanity. And I think we can start creating a new mindset, then we'll be free to take other decisions to guide us to a healthy social network. I think this awareness about what is this game about, that is about market, power, and society, will take our decisions on a better way. There's no way to run off these debates, because it is about that.
Thank you, Emerson. I think Wendy just ran off, but I was going to ask him, Eric, and you might know more about it. What was the name of the decentralized platform that you were sharing? The decentralized.
So the protocol is called Nostr.
Nostr. Okay.
No, yeah, NOSTR. That's a foundation. That's where all the things are coded, right? And it's unchangeable, or is changed by community deciding. So that's the protocol. And then there is apps that is called clients in the Nostr protocol, and you can download. I don't know if you use iPhone. I use Primal. There is Damus. There is Iris. There is many different interfaces to that protocol. and then you can choose freely which one you want to use, but you're going to have the same information. So if the same thread will come to you because you're using your network, and then you can find people and connect, and you're going to see their thoughts. And
can you just share the one specific one that you use so that everybody can just know which one to
Primal.
go to?
Primal Wallet. If it's on the App Store, Primal Wallet. And it's why it's called wallet, because instead of where we would have the third party in between in the regular social media platform where it's run by organization, here we don't have the man in between. So we communicate between us through relays that is embedded in the name. And why is the wallet? Because it's built on Bitcoin protocol. So it's and there we can exchange instead of pressing, for example, we can share wealth directly. If somebody inspires me directly, I can contribute with what I can tip. I think that would be a very easy way to say tip. Immediately, like if I read somebody shares a good post, I zap and I share. So this is this is my way of being algorithm. That's how I spread into my networks. Because there is no algorithm, we become algorithms. So how we play in that free market space, decentralized, that's what we're gonna like. How we're gonna use it, it's up to everyone, individually. And there is a lot of people with a lot of kind of passions that grows their own vegetables, share pictures, maybe sell their products directly in that market from people to people. It's peer-to-peer. And sorry for my language, none of the fucker can do and take it away from us. It's decentralized. So it's a network that's just gonna keep on growing. If you understand the mycelium network, and then the way Emerald, what's the name? Sorry, Emerson is calling healthy social network. I love the healthy, man. I'm all about healthy. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, that gave me some more clarity on exactly what it was and how it works. I'm gonna look into that for sure. And I would love if like we could help grow that more. Instead of the norm being the Instagram or TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
I would say in the meantime, while that's growing, like we could help try and grow that. But in the meantime, while we're using the other apps, because we're trying to reach as many people as possible too, to make that impact, and because there's not as many people on that decentralized platform yet. So if we're trying to reach the people that don't even know about it yet, or don't even know about the impact that we're trying to make, then on the platforms that we're currently on, is like we can just, I would say, be more conscious of the initiative that we're taking. So that's where Meijing and I got with this last week, is what shifted for us is like, until we can get to the place where, like what you're saying, having that decentralized social media while we're trying to reach as many people as possible that are on these other platforms, is what shifted is we're taking initiative for something that is higher than ourselves. We're trying to impact people positively, and we're trying to be aware of how it's going to make them feel. And I think that
you're not trying, you're doing.
That's exactly. We're doing. Okay, we're doing. You're so right. And I think that
language is power, bro. You know this.
Yep, that's true. We are doing. I think until we can all be on that decentralized platform, that being more conscious of the type of initiative we're taking and purpose we're taking on social media will be the hugest thing in helping transform the way it impacts people and the algorithm, until we can become our own algorithm.
I think
that's a good one.
Isn't it also important to say that we live in a society that everybody thinks that we're not responsible, right? Somebody else is responsible. So when we go on TikTok, when we go on Facebook and whatever, like you guys are saying, there's algorithm, right? So I'm not responsible. I'm watching this and it's just Facebook doing this. So by switching that to this is being responsible. And I take accountability in what I watch and what I share and what, you know, in all of this. And it's so important. It's so important because this is a subconscious thing. We don't realize that we're giving power to somebody else and taking out responsibility in what we can actually share with people and who we are.
I really think. Oh, you go, Luca.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a computer science major myself, so I'm big into all this kind of like kind of social media and decentralized and kind of cryptocurrency and yeah, decentralized networks. I just wanted to point out there's another, I don't know if you've heard it, Wendy. It's called Matrix, matrix.org. It's kind of yeah, it's a decentralized network, and it's not really kind of this one platform. Kind of, it's a platform that connects to a bunch of other platforms.
So it's
Where,
centralized.
well,
Because if it's
what?
if it's a platform that connects to other ones, it's centralized. So that's the difference. And so one thing that I really want to acknowledge and make sure that we're very clear on here is that a lot of people are using crypto, okay, as a backbone of what the real Bitcoin philosophy is, okay? And there's a huge responsibility there in terms of using the language and understanding that. So making sure that we're very clear on understanding the uniqueness and the differences, because it is a nuance. So language is power, clarity is power. Just like when we say everybody versus most people, right? It's important to not delete, distort, or overgeneralize any information, because it's what's going to give precision to the way that we communicate with people. And also then this matrix thing versus Noster, what it sounds like based off of what I'm hearing from you right now is that it's not decentralized, because if it's one platform that then pushes it out to all these other platforms, then what it's doing is it's centralizing information, versus Noster having different nuances and nodes being able to go through everyone. So again, something we need to be really careful of, because a lot of crypto, what they call shitcoin in the Bitcoin community, is used as alternative coins and created and manipulated on the backbone of something that is sound and true. So we really have to pay attention to the language that we use, because we don't want to delete, distort, or overgeneralize anything, because that's what's been happening for thousands of years.
Yeah, I invite everyone to kind of look at this matrix.org. Yeah, what I meant by the kind of it connects to these other networks is it's more like it's more of a place to kind of it's not this centralized matrix itself. It's not centralized. It's more of a place where people are able to discover these decentralized networks. If that's another way to put it.
Almost like
matrix
an index.
Itself, yeah,
like
it's more of a it's more of like a way to discover all these different platforms. Yeah, but yeah, I invite everyone to look into it. I've done my own research about it, and it's kind of like what Wendy has been talking about. But
well, I think this just brought up a really important point, like for all of us. I mean, social media in and of itself is so much, I think it's gotten more complicated over the years than we could have ever imagined. Like I've been on the crypto train for years, but even with everything you guys were talking about today, I'm like, wow, I really need to get more clear on decentralization. Like what exactly does that mean, and why it's so important to have discussions like this and to talk about things of this nature so that we can actually learn and share with others. Because I think there's so much for us. There's so much out there that we can't fully take radical responsibility if we don't know what's going on. And that's probably one of the first things we need to keep reminding ourselves of is education. And that we have a responsibility for education. It's not just to help us, but it's to help others. And that was kind of the point I wanted to make earlier. It felt like everything you all have been talking about, I think is a really cool thing to watch, because I think we're moving as a society from being a service to self society to a service to others society. And that's the point I really wanted to drive home, is I think everyone within this realm of trying to help others or move to healthier ways to use social media or whatever it is, that the point there is we are moving away from how do I just help myself to how do I help others. And I think it's a really beautiful thing. And if we kind of look at that underlying shift from service to self to service to others in everything that we do, I think it allows us or helps us be more compassionate and to take compassionate action by checking in. Am I serving myself or am I serving the whole?
Amen. I love that. Okay, so I know that we're already 8 minutes over time, so I just want to be conscious of everybody's time. If we are 8 minutes and you need to go, then please feel free. However, I think before we totally end off or finish it off, I'd love to just get kind of like a perspective of why do you feel like if somebody is listening back to this, or if you had somebody that you wanted to invite, why would it be valuable for them to come and jump on here every week with us to really either listen or join in or add value? What was kind of the big takeaways, your aha moments, and what do you feel like we can improve upon so we can continue to move forward into what Napoleon Hill has talked a lot about, and a lot of our predecessors have discussed in the past, the divine economy. So please, anybody, do you guys want to, who wants to go first?
I think the main thing that I've gotten out of it, and I feel like others would as well, is that we get to play on each other's knowledge. So like our own strengths, our own weaknesses, what we don't know, what we do know, we're helping each other grow. And so we're growing collectively towards these solutions rather than it being one person that's like, I've got a solution, I'm going to go do it. It's like we're here having this conversation and we're providing the space for these solutions to come up naturally through our own skills and strengths. And we can help each other kind of grow as one unit into forming these solutions. And I think that that's the most valuable thing.
Love it. Anyone else?
Yeah, I guess I'll go. So the biggest takeaway for me is, yeah, feeling that sense of support, feeling that sense of collectiveness when we're all together, sitting here in this space for the hour that we sit together for, and share our ideas, share not only the problems that we see, but the actions that we want to take towards solving those issues that are happening around the world. And yeah, making it a playground, making it a fun environment where we come in and it's not just like, oh, there's all these problems, what do we do? We are change makers, we are leaders, we are future youth leaders, and we are here together. So anybody that's a youth leader or not even a leader yet, because most of us are just in the same journey that anybody watching is, we are in a journey that's a journey for life. Join us, be here with us. The more people that are collected in one space, the more energy towards the universe, the energy that we put out is going to be a lot more powerful. And I just feel like the more that we are together, the more power that we can create, the more change that happens unconsciously and consciously. So this is the biggest thing. I have a lot of people that text me and they have ideas and they want to do them, but they don't feel like they can because they're by themselves, so they feel like they don't have the support. So this is what this is for, not only to be that support for each other, but to come together and share our knowledge, our perspectives about life. And I just love this space so much, and I'm very grateful for everybody that's here. So that's all I had to say about that. Yes.
Very nice, mate. Well, I think that when you look back to history, every time when an authoritarian power wanted to dominate people, the first action it was isolate people so they could feel themselves lonely and powerless.
Mm.
So I totally agree with May that this feeling that being together with other people that think like us and having this feeling of connection and see that it's possible to create something together is the most empowering feeling, because you can say that this is the loneliness is like the zeitgeist of nowadays, you know. It's like the spirit of the moment, this loneliness. And this is not may not be happening physical like in the old times, but mentally. And that's it. Being together, connected to all of us is amazing.
Mm.
Hope this movement can
We're
grow.
bringing the world into one. We're all in different areas here together. It's so beautiful. Yes.
Anyone else want to share?
I did want to point out one other thing that I think is beneficial if anyone's interested in coming to talk about this stuff. I think historically we've seen, and I think it's been said, discussion and also conflict, I think, can bring us some of our best solutions. And I'm not saying that we're all going to sit here and fight, but I do think we're all unique individuals and we're probably going to have different ideas and thoughts. But I feel it from all of you, those of you I haven't met yet, I do think we're all here to really try to make a positive impact and learn. And one of the benefits of being in a group like this is knowing that you can have a different opinion and really talk about what you're feeling and what you're thinking. And we're all going to work together to discuss our opinions and to find a solution we think is right. We don't have to totally agree, but I think that is one of the most beneficial things we can do as human beings, and to have a space where that can happen. And you can also learn to maybe be uncomfortable with conflict and uncomfortable with having different opinions than others and speaking those, and learning that that's actually how I think we get the best results is really beneficial. So that's kind of what I wanted to throw out there.
Thoughtful disagreement is one of the greatest ways to create opportunities for everybody, because it changes the nature of the experience. When people are showing up with genuine compassion and thoughtfulness in a disagreement, it creates some sort of a space of such safety. Because even though you may not agree, there's still a place of such, like, it's palpable, the feeling, right? Because it's you can feel the love that's coming through, right? And it really it allows that genuinity. So, like, I don't agree with you, but this is my point, and that is beautiful in any environment. And I encourage all of us to really take that to any environment that we go, because what is being created here and how we can then illuminate that in other areas, it is that compassionate leadership. It is that ability to genuinely care what people feel, but be strong enough to still believe in yourself and know there's a really no pun intended balance there.
Yeah. So I love the idea that this is like a place where everyone is able to share their ideas without, like, we have different opinions. We might not agree on, between each other on certain subjects, but we all get share our ideas and kind of create this melting pot of of all these ideas, and kind of we all absorb and kind of get this perspective of everything. We're not kind of closed to our own ways of life. We're kind of open and kind of just receive all that how do you say, just perspective. And I just love that about this. There's no one way of kind of solving these problems that exist, or kind of traversing this life. It's um, it's more like a collective of what we all want to do, and what we want to achieve. That's all.
I think my biggest takeaway from all of this is to be able to see that there's people that cannot just focus on ego when there's social media. They don't focus on how can I uplift myself, but how can I uplift others. And that's amazing, because the majority of social medias out there, that's all they do. It's how can I just look good so that way I get 1,000 likes, and all of that. So this is a beautiful thing that you guys are doing, and I'm happy that I'm here with you guys. So thank you for the opportunity. I think it's great, and more people should join. I'm sorry?
You're doing it too. I said you're doing it too.
I'm trying. But it's so easy to get wrapped up into all of that, though. It's so easy. Then I'm like, oh, but how is that person getting 1,000 likes? How can I do it? How can I do it? So easy. I'm serious. It's so easy to get into it. And then I'm like, no, hold on. Everybody has their own time, and I have to share what's right for me. And so since I focus on little kids, I have to be able to share something that's okay for parents. It's just, you got to go back to yourself. And this is great. So
100%. One thing I just want to add to that is repetition is the mother of skill, but consistency is the father of mastery. And there is something so profound about being willing to follow a road that you're willing to pave yourself. And then years, even decades down the road, you look back and you're like, wow, I actually believed it so much. Now people see me for my true nature. And there is nothing now, their energy, everything that we have sown has been reaping, and it just continues to flourish and flourish. And now the energy has just become so, it's like you can't stop it, because it's become something so much bigger than yourself, because you've consistently used your body as the vehicle. So
yes, because like you were saying, we're here to serve others. Yes.
I'd just like to add
jump
that,
on. Oh, okay. Anders, go.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think that this was a beautiful mixture of open dialogue and a little bit of facilitation. And I really enjoyed that. And additionally, I love all the different perspectives coming from all over the world and hearing different accents. And I think that that is the beauty of life, and the diversity of the human expression, I think, is just so beautiful. I myself, like when I travel, I want to go eat the street food. I want to go, off the beaten path and experience what makes our brothers and sisters different and worth celebrating and enjoying. So I just love this experience. I love listening. I love speaking a little bit, sharing, what I'm up to. And I would look forward to sort of continuing that and, getting to learn from everybody. I think is just so beautiful in developing that like intimacy, yet also collective consciousness, and that momentum that everyone's sort of speaking to, that like together we have momentum, and we have energy, and we have support. So thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. I think that the biggest thing, actually, from what I take away from what you're saying, is what can we do to take action? And so that means it's like keep the momentum going outside of these weeks, is integrating what we're feeling here and how we're integrating into what we're doing in our jobs, with our people, with our communities back home, because it is part of the integration process of allowing more people to see, hey, okay, let's keep building. What are we doing? It's not about just being here. It's about what are we doing outside of this little room, because it's like this part is the part where we get to practice. What we do in private is really how we practice in private is what we get rewarded for in public. So I think that this is like the key component, is taking pieces from this and then just integrating it into the small things that we do in our day-to-days.
So I would like to top it up this one, and everything has been said. So amazing. I don't have to say anything. But one thing that me and Eric, we do this space every day, and it's open hours, office hours, as we call. We stream it live, we record it live, and we learning by doing. And I think we invite all of you to join any other day as well if you feel, or just watch us if you're curious what we're talking about. Yeah. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys for allowing us all to be here and talk. I really feel blessed to be in all of your presences.
It's amazing.
Likewise,
Thank
and
you.
I just want to also share that Shaw and Meijing have been working tirelessly behind the scenes to really give so much energy, and it really is like, you know, I was sharing with so many people that, you know, I'm sick and tired of meeting people that just talk shit and then they're not willing to do anything. They're not willing to go out into the world and be it and shine like the sun. And what I love about Shaw and Meijing is that they're like all in. Let's go, let's go. And this to me was like it was a breath of fresh air to see people that are willing to step into a responsible role in this world. And I believe that there needs to be way more of us, because so many people just talk about it and then they go back to their day to day and just keep repeating the same old pattern. They don't, where's that level of integrity, that level of alignment, that level of principles? And you know, it's easy to talk about it, but the real difficult time, especially when there's disagreements, is to really like to be about it. And so I just want to really acknowledge both of you, because you're stepping into it. We're creating, you know, they're creating this youth leadership festival. And I invite anybody that's watching or listening or observing to get curious or reach out, you know, to Shaw, Meijing, even myself, to get curious about what's happening in July. There's a youth festival, 5 days in Portland. It's going to be amazing speakers, amazing event, amazing experiences. And it's an opportunity to really refine who we are from the internal perspective, not looking outside at society and its bullshit. And you're going to have some of the best teachers there, the best leaders there, the best speakers there, the best facilitators there to really help you refine that knowingness of who you are as an individual. And so this is something that I just want to share with anybody that's watching online or video or recording back and things like this. And also, if anyone that's here present can share this as well, so that more people can actually be aware of what they're doing at such a deep level. It's so beautiful to watch. And we all have this responsibility, by the way, all of us.
Thank you so much, Eric. I really appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
With that, anybody have any few last comments or words they want to share before we go?
So I want to open the doors if somebody is curious to jump on one-on-one or three-on-one or whatever call dynamic to talk about Noster. If somebody's curious to explore, I would be willing to be there. Yeah.
Very nice. So what would be our next topic for the next week?
Next topic is well, we have it. We actually have a list already for the next 5 weeks.
Always ready. The
next week is conscious entrepreneurship. So we're gonna bring in some youth leaders that run businesses, and you guys are all invited as well. We're always, all of us, the more the better. Obviously, we're a conscious group of young leaders, so we're gonna bring in more young leaders that are entrepreneurs in their own spaces. So it's going to be on conscious entrepreneurship. The following week is on the power of meditation. So little by little, every week, we're going to have specific topics that are targeted really for the betterment of ourselves and in the world. So yeah, next week is conscious entrepreneurship. If you know any entrepreneurs, young leaders that are running businesses, please invite them. We'll send you guys the flyer so you guys can invite them on to the call. It's going to be at the same time every Friday here and only with Eric Balance, the one and only,
The legend.
Yay!
the legend.
Much love, everyone.
I
Much
love you
love.
all.
Guys.
Honestly, I
Love
really
everyone.
appreciate you guys being all here. It's amazing to meet you all. Let's stay connected, and I'm always here for any one of you. Okay.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you
Thanks
so
so
much.
Love you
much,
all.
guys.
Enjoy your
Love you all.
Friday.
Thank
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
everyone.
guys. Let me see if I
Ciao.
can see. Love to meet you all.